Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Online, and Brad and I are doing a discussion over The Dark Quarter, which was a game that we were highly anticipating for a while. Because after the disappointing, response of, Destinies, which was... And because we like Van Ryder games, we like Lucky Duck. At that time, neither of them could do any wrong. Both you and I really didn't like Destinies. But we were on the fence about this one for the same reason. But this was fully cooperative, set in this voodoo, dark, kind of gothic.
New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans setting, which is always a really cool setting. That we eventually backed it. And then it got delivered. Then it was delayed because the app wasn't finished. But the app is finally released, and this game is so boring. It's so disappointing because, God, there's nothing here. There's no substance of gameplay. We'll get to the app in a sec, but it just feels like a watered down Mansions of Madness.
Well, and I would say almost, watered down Chronicles of Crime.
Yeah.
Because at least you're doing something, you're looking at the crime scenes, you're questioning and stuff.
You're figuring out, you're trying to solve a case.
Yeah. This one, you're doing that, but it's you're just moving, rolling some dice, doing this and that and everything. So it's it takes that whole crime scene investigation out of it.
Or, note-taking and stuff, or trying to figure out who to talk to. This game kind of has semblance of that, but really, literally all you are doing is, again, like Destinies, the board means nothing. You have this top-down view of New Orleans, and it serves nothing. Right. It has you place these markers in whatever various locations that are just kind of there for whatever purpose, a visual thing, whenever, again, it could just all be done in the goddamn app. But yeah, like you said, we take our miniature, pop it to somewhere we want to go, hit the button, and then, we have 2 dice, we roll, and we're like, alright, I got 6. You compare it to a stat sheet, I got 2 successes. Boom, boom. Read something, maybe you get an XP, maybe you get an item, and you rinse repeat for 2.5 hours. So, which is funny because it makes you think it's you do that in whodunit games, and I think honestly what makes those games such a success and what this game really fails to do is this writing.
Yeah.
Man, it is fourth wing, Twilight, teen cringe. It literally has an adult rating on it. For the most immature levels of crass.
Yeah.
This is whenever someone's a teenager just figured out cussing and is trying to they throw it in all over the place. It doesn't feel natural. It feels forced and cringy. The scenes that they put in here that are supposed to be edgy and creepy are just hilarious.
Right.
So, and I'm not saying I could do a better job, but I'm not touting myself as a writer.
Right.
It's so I'm not engrossed in this world in any way. The characters that we have barely any depth to them. It's Julia's a vampire and she doesn't want to be. She's going to try and figure it out.
Well, and your vampire thing, I think, came to the forefront a little bit more. I used my getting drunk to talk to ghosts, once?
Yeah.
So it was really kind of a...
Who knows? You talked to that little Asian girl.
Was she a ghost, though?
We don't know. She said spectacularly delicioso.
She's probably the one that went and killed that cop. because she said she had to run and go do something real quick.
Yeah, and you got to fix or do task or whatever favor
Yeah.
with whatever it was. The only time that we legitimately laughed was whenever I went and talked to the big woman Annie, and I was like, "Oh, I'll tell her a joke," and it was actually a funny joke. But then that same exact joke was repeated.
Yeah, because I was telling the boss guy.
Yeah.
joke, and it was the same thing.
Yeah, it was the exact. Except he interrupted, and it's like, "Oh, all the best jokes have dicks in them," and I'm like, "What? Who wrote this? Like, is Evan Raphael? It just." It's so it's painful, honestly. Like, so the gameplay for it is virtually non-existent. The whodunit, I mean, it's not even really a whodunit, it's just a narrative story, is not gripping in any way. So like for example, if you're gonna have heavy narration, I mean, if you're not gonna back it up with gameplay, then you gotta have solid writing that it's like, okay, yeah, I don't really care about what I'm doing here because I'm so invested in the story. I just could not have cared less.
Well, and the replayability is going to suck because, like, if I was to play my copy of this, where there would be differences with characters, because like the guy we didn't choose.
Yeah,
if I went to his house at that
Right.
one location, that would be kind of interesting to see what came up. But like, it's all coming to this point. You're just pretty much trying to find this cemetery and go to that deal, and it's like that's not going to change.
Yeah,
You know,
because
from
it's not like
one and stuff.
right. It's not like Chronicles of Crime where you pick a scenario to try and solve. This one is just you pop open the app, and then you just start playing. Now, I mean, in terms of like physical content, I mean, it's very clean. But like you get very tired abilities. So like, yeah, you're picking some abilities, but it's like they're so basic. Oh, hey, you can re-roll some dice. You got a success during questioning. And even like whenever I was reading the rules and originally learning it, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. The characters will react to them, and you know, if you intimidate someone and they're not meant to be intimidated, you just kind of beat. But like, you're not doing anything with that. It's just you click at, like, half the time it's like coax, intimidate, drop the subject. Coax, intimidate. It's like, okay, I basically have two options because I'm not gonna. So it's a 50-50 shot, and then you like, oh, I'll intimidate him, and it just goes, oh, that hurt. It's like, what is this, Resident Evil 1 voice acting? Oh, wait, no, there is no voice acting because they delayed this goddamn app to work on their fucking free source saxophone jazz. And in this day and age, for a narrative-heavy game, put some fucking audio narration.
Yeah.
That is, it at this point, it is archaic.
Yeah.
And unacceptable. Because companies with less money are doing more with apps, or they're hiring Foreteller to do it.
Yeah, Foreteller would have been a good one for this.
Oh, yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah, because again, the music that they have on loop is, I mean, it sounds nice, but like you had so many potentially colorful characters. This game, I would not be ragging on it as hard if they had voice actors. If like the gravedigger you come across is actually speaking French, and I'm not over here sounding like a fucking racist trying to speak French.
Yeah.
Or like if you actually were talking to, you know, what was it, Black Rex and Annie Christmas. It's like the jive, like if our characters who talk, like, or they have dialogue for them, if it was actually like a banter back and forth, yeah, I could excuse a lot of stuff because I could be invested.
Right.
Nope, none of that. Why they delayed the app? It sure as shit wasn't for app
Well,
development.
it's still not completely. I mean, because there's
That's
still
also
some
true.
coming out for the later stuff.
Oh yay, sure,
That
that's
hasn't come out
gripping.
yet. Right.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be a big update. Maybe when they release that, they'll be like, we've been doing voice acting.
Oh yeah, but you think they would announce that? Because like a great example is right now. I mentioned this in my Dawn of Madness review. I mean, those things are novels, and I mean, if any game is heavily narration based and I have to do a lot of reading, I'm less likely to play your game. But they just went on crowdfunding, and that was a whole big thing. All 18 books are being professionally narrated, which even they were a small team of like 3 people, were trying to figure out whether they were going to do it in-house to save money, of course, or if they were going to professionally do it. Well, they were going to outsource it because it's like that's going to be amazing if it's done right. Not like Stars Vicarious where it's really bad. Or I think Dragon Eclipse even has some mess-ups too. But yeah, like there's so much reading. And it's like if I'm not doing a good enough job to try and animate it and make it entertaining for like you.
Right.
Like imagine just straight ass reading. Like if I just like
Yeah.
It's just inexcusable, especially with just how delayed this was. We had this for 3 months.
At least 2. I can't remember exactly when I got it, but
yeah, like 2 or 3 months of just holding on to the physical copy, which is unplayable without the app. And before people start, screaming, "This is why apps shouldn't be in games," shut the fuck up. Like I fully support app integration in board games when it's done right.
Yeah, I would agree.
But I mean, this is your justification example of like, well, people had Dark Order for months and they couldn't play it. It's like, yeah, and then they get it, and turns out the app didn't even matter because it's not even a good game with the app. I mean, I almost got no redeeming qualities, man. Like, I feel like
the components are nice, but I mean that's really.
But again, they're useless. It's like whenever we play Destinies, and it's like, oh, I don't even need to touch the board.
No, I'm not saying they're but I'm just meaning like just
physical.
looking
yes.
at it. It's
dual layered boards,
well made.
The art, I mean,
stuff.
the art is nice. The characters, I mean, Taylor Swift's hot, so Kurt Russell, Jeff Bridges over there.
Yeah.
Jeff Russell, Kurt Bridges over there, and then the other 2 characters who they don't look like anyone that I'm aware of, but. I mean, that must be the replayability, is like the story beats are going to be the same, but like the characters you play
It was the
with.
same with Destinies, though. You picked a character and the story was the same. You picked a different character and it was the same.
Right, but in this, it's like I said, like with the John Robichaux. Yeah, I mean, it was his house.
Right.
Like that's a good example that we could like go to, or
Yeah, I guess Destiny's a personal deal, but the game, you had different abilities, I guess, and did
right.
stuff. So yeah, this would be better in that.
And I don't know, like it was funny because with Destiny's, I felt like, oh, you opened up a quest that I could go and steal from you, and it was like this stupid rock paper scissors of like, oh, I have this goal, but we might share the same goal. I hated it. So it's like I would snipe quests. But here, it almost felt the exact same way, where it's like, yeah, we're playing cooperatively, but I'm over there doing my own thing, asking the same useless questions, but then you come across a bunch of evidence that it's like, oh, it's fine, it's my turn. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like,
at least you can't finish the quest without that I started. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, it's not a personal dig to you, but
Right.
like narratively, I want to stick within the theme, and it's like,
no, yeah,
because I play D&D so much, it's like I don't want to meta. I don't want to be like, well, my character was over talking to the police officer, you're over here talking to this bar owner, getting information. Why am I all of a sudden like, oh, I know about the cemetery?
Walkie-talkies.
No, we don't. We have pagers. Oh, well, yeah. Thematically, that's how it's. Call me up on my. You page me, and I'm like, I gotta get to a payphone. What's that? But yeah, it just feels cheap. It feels like I'm again kind of stealing your moment, where it's like, oh, I found all this evidence. I want to go figure that out. It's like, okay, I guess I'll try and do something else, and then you run out of options to do. It's like, okay, I guess I'll go there. And then every check you do is rinse, repeat. Like,
Yeah.
you got 0 successes, refresh an effort die. So you basically get more dice to increase your value. So you do the same check again, then it's like, oh, all right, now you got some successes.
Right.
Okay, you got a new lead. Go talk to this person. Oh man, like this game was exhausting. Save system was nice. The app.
I mean, we played the first through intermission, another day, and then we played through all this.
Yes.
And we kind of fudged to get the end of it.
Yeah.
Get it done with. But it's like we played a long time.
4
just
hours.
The first scenario.
Yeah, 4 hours, and it's like 4 hours of just like, let's just finish this to see what the experience was. And then at the end of a scenario or a chapter or whatever they call it, they give you like an epilogue. So I mean, it does have technically different endings. Each chapter is like a different ending, but I don't care.
It's like the Chronicles of Crime thing, because it always remember at the end it would tell you if
Oh,
you did
yeah.
this, it would give you like the rundown, like, oh, because you did this, if you this person ended up being the one that did,
Yeah.
it kind of did the same thing. It's just a mishmash of another iteration of that whole thing with the Destiny. They kind of stuck with that, and
It really did not.
surprised with Destiny's not. I mean, because Destiny's was really popular when it
It
came
was.
out.
We were definitely in the minority.
But then you can get it for dirt cheap now.
Yeah, 'cause
And-
people came to their senses.
Well, I know, but that's that thing. Like, this is not that far off of it, so
Yeah,
It's
I will
like-
say at least Destiny's worked when you got it.
yeah. Because Van Ryder, I think, because if this was just Lucky Duck,
Yeah,
that wouldn't have been as popular. A lot of people were riding the Van Ryder Final Girl thing. They're like, oh yeah, they're horror
Yeah.
writers. They're like, Van Ryder's kind of hot right now because they did Final Girl and all that
Yeah.
stuff, and they're hooking with Lucky Duck and all that stuff. And
yeah.
I should have listened to my intuition when I didn't back at this.
Well, yeah, and it's like whenever, because you would think with Final Girl, oh, they're huge horror fans, which is I'm not discrediting that. But then you read the death cases, the campaigns of death in those books, and that's pretty cheeky or campy at best. So, like, and you were like, well, those are short blurbs,
I was
and
trying
they
to give
get
a benefit of the doubt on that.
yeah, and they got to do hundreds of them for a bunch of different cards and the combinations of killer to scenario, and I get it's a lot of work, so you're not going to make it as gruesome as you possibly could be. Unfortunately, that's the same level of writing in here. Except throwing a bunch of cock-sucking twat fucking elephant.
Yeah, just a lot of vulgar.
Literally all just... And then, man, then you had like a moment out of nowhere with a guy named Frank. That I was like... Again, it has nothing to do with, anything like that. It was just so like... I was talking to a guy, and then you go there. I was like, oh, maybe you can talk to him. The guy I was talking to was no longer there.
At your left, and then
then a new one came in, and then it was just this weird, awkward, like almost forced, just scene that is like, is this is horror? This is hilarious.
I found out something about myself.
Yeah, yeah, it was funny, but then it's just over. It's
Right.
just like, all right, it's gone, and it's like, what the fuck was that?
I bet those pop in like once per scenario.
Probably.
Because your thing you were waiting on, the thing I was waiting on, I bet second scenario they probably pop in, do something, and then they're gone until they get the third. And...
Yeah, like, I mean, God forbid there's like an actual sex scene or something where it's like I meet up with my ex-boyfriend and it's like, oh man, because it was definitely they were getting some moments of just.
I want to see how many scenarios are in it.
God,
Talking.
probably 3. It's just like the most basic level of romance that you would expect to see in like those romance novels that are critically acclaimed, like the 50 Shades of Grey stuff. Is what is almost thrown in here. There's four chapters,
And then additionally, the Yesterday Demon and Other Stories expansion will be released in waves. So in this deal, there's 4 in this main story.
I mean, if you're just someone who really likes just content, like, I guess, I mean, it's here, but it just isn't fun for multiple people when one person is, like, reading, because not everyone is a strong reader. Mm-hmm. Not everyone likes to read out loud. I have Artisans of the Splendid Veil that is sitting because that requires heavy reading, and you almost have to have people who are animated with their reading and get into character. Otherwise, that game and this is boring as hell if you're just reading it straight-faced.
Yeah.
So, and I'm the only person, me and Devin, he's the only one that actually kind of reads and gets into it. Everyone else just reads it as is, and it's like, God, the items that you collect are basic and boring as hell. They all have QR codes on them, so it's like I can scan this, and it's like the West World doesn't look like anything to me.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think about this? I don't know you think I give a shit-eating grin about that? What?
This game also falls into like the Destinies because you might as well just play it solo. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the similar. You could run 2 heroes on this and run it solo, and
I can't even remember if you have to run 2. I don't think you have to pick 2 characters.
Really?
Oh, no. When playing solo, the player must choose at least 2 characters. Okay. This ensures balance and narrative cohesion. In general, there's nothing wrong with a single player controlling several characters.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Did you know that there's nothing wrong with you playing with 2 characters like a loser? Oh, yeah. God. I want to keep... I wish I wrote some of the dialogue down just to give clear examples.
Well, that one lady said that, tell me a joke or something tell me a twat slapping joke. That's what she said.
Yeah.
It was just like,
a joke that'll tickle my twat or something.
Yeah, something like that. It was, which, I mean, we cuss on this channel a lot and stuff like that. It's fine, but it's just throwing it out there. Just, it's like, oh, we have a mature rated game. We're just gonna throw a bunch of shit out.
That's exactly it. Yeah, it never feels like it's just a natural swearing. A lot of the stuff, because like I've done this on many occasions. Like whenever we're reading, that I'll just randomly throw in something just to be funny. And every now and then I'll like get you, like, or I'll get someone where it's like, is that actually in there? And it's like, no. And it's always a proud moment of mine. But most of the stuff that was in here, you're like, is that really there? And I'm like, yes. Like, this is a elementary school level of writing here. And honestly, that's the worst part. That really is. I can forgive the app delay if they were like, hey, we're delaying it because the audio narration isn't ready. I can forgive the basic gameplay. Dawn of Madness is a crazy example because that gameplay is actually involved, but Mansions of Madness is the most involved game in the world.
Right.
But I mean, you actually have pieces you're moving around, but you have spaces, you have enemies that you're doing stuff with. So checks actually, like, there's a lot more going on in that. But with levels like this, it's just when the world doesn't feel alive. The narrative game just, falls flat. So, and I can't imagine it gets any better.
No, I don't think so.
Funny enough, whenever they kept saying like blinker, like for like people who aren't dead, I was like, like really, like it's like that same shit with zombies. Whenever they got screamers and runners, and it's like, you can't say zombie. That's not a trademarked word. You can say zombie. Nope, we got splinters and creakers. Yeah, shut up.
Shamblers.
Yeah, and it's like, we got a casket girl. All right, I guess you got a casket girl. And then, like, with my character, she would, like, the way that she would talk to other characters. And it's like, I think I'll fight her. And then it's, like, the easiest check in the world. And then it's like, I just backhand her, and I'm like, you fucking bitch. Oh, God, it's exhausting. It's so bad. And I'm so sad. I wanted to like this. This is such a unique theme that's literally never touched on.
Yeah, because I think this was on at least my most anticipated. And I don't know if it was on yours or not. Because I don't know if you put on this last one because it had been delayed so much.
I think so. I think I wanted to give games that had a chance of being delivered.
Yeah, but I think I had it on mine. I know you had in the past because I think I had it for a couple years on that list.
Yeah,
but
just because they sold it so well.
Guess what? It's going to be on another list.
Which one? I don't know yet. It could go on either one. I think it depends, how we want to take it. How many worse games there are that might overshadow it. Throw this one into disappointing. I I got nothing else. Like, yeah, there's the Lost in the Night expansion. Don't care. Like, oh god, just here. Basically, do yourself a favor. Download the app. It's free, and just read through it. That's all you have to do. Like, say you own the base game, go through the whole. Like, again, you don't need this. The physical stuff literally doesn't matter. I mean, I guess you need, like, if you want to scan QR codes.
Right.
But, again, half the time, you didn't have to do that.
Right.
You can get away with just a check. Like, again, for example, it's like when you have to open up a shed, it's like, oh, you can brute force it, see how many checks you get. But if you had a crowbar or something, you could have opened it using that.
Right.
But it's like, okay, so just like, I mean, yeah, if you need to scan an item, you obviously can't do that. But you can get through 95% of the game just saying just say 5 successes. Every test, 5 successes. That's gonna guarantee you, like, you're never even getting above that, because I think the way they do the skill system is actually kind of... I initially liked it. I was like, oh, that's unique. You have these cubes that, like, you roll your dice, and it's like, oh, I got a 6. That's in my combat. I have 2 successes. I actually prefer that over the standard Arkham Horror, where it's like 5s and 6s.
Right. Yeah.
So that was actually unique. But just go and download the app and read through it. And if you're maybe having a bad day at work and you want a good laugh,
I got a good joke for you.
that joke, which I'm pretty sure I have heard somewhere at some point, was actually genuinely funny. And then of course they ruined it by doing the exact same joke. Yeah, I don't know. Like, well, Brad, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hot is Taylor Swift? How hot is Julia Paris, who is very clearly modeled?
I like vampires.
Yeah, like, I was getting, like, Underworld, like, not even the first or second Underworld. I was getting the bad Underworld movie vibes.
Like the Lycan War one or whatever.
Yeah, well, there was, because then there was, like, 2 more after that one. That one is even somewhat passable.
Yeah, that one is decent, but yeah.
The other 2 after that are really bad whenever it's like her kid. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are awful. That's the kind of vampire vibe I was getting. It just didn't hit.
Yep.
What are you giving it? Scale of 1 to 10? A 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
3. I just can't. It's
a 3 for how many months or a point for how many months it was delayed.
Well, it's just there's nothing, like, I don't know. There's just nothing, like, the replayability, it hurts too, because even if, like, there's just not, like, there's no way for I'm going to go and do, but you can't skip scenarios.
Right.
So, like, if I was going to try to go through this, I would have to fudge my way through the entire 4-hour first scenario.
Yeah.
Just to get to new stuff. And it's like, there's not going to change a whole lot. I mean, like you said, there's some character changes.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, depending on how well you, like, succeed in the finale will change or different. I mean, you do make decisions.
You do, but...
But they stress so hard about, like, the time decisions. You can play it on extreme timer mode,
right.
Which is the way it's supposed to be played.
So like, 5 times a scenario?
Yeah, like, maybe. And you have so much time. It's like 30 seconds, and it's like they made it sound like it was going to be like snap decisions, where it's like, oh man, this could impact my whole character. And I get it, you have to have time to read. Like, they can't have it be 4 seconds, where it's like, I couldn't even read that.
Right.
But... So you read it, and then those choices are so lame. Of like, do you tell him about his brother, or do you not? It's like, I don't care. Sure, I tell him. And then whenever you even made that decision, nothing even happened. It was like, I can actually tell you about we gotta go. Okay, goodbye, Winter. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. Winter will remember this later. It's like, oh. No.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm going with a solid 3.
Very solid 3. Yeah, I think I might go lower. I think I'm gonna go with 2.
There, I thought I was going to do the low one on it.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, is, like, I really, really dislike the writing in this narrative, 90% narrative game. I don't like the fact that it was delayed for no significant reason, except if their excuse was they had to put in the horrible writing.
If I would have been reading, it might have been a 2. See, I didn't have to read any of it.
I read all of it.
That's why I did 3.
And I tried my best to make it entertaining. I ran out of voices. I ran out of energy that I just didn't give a shit. This would actually probably, I kid you not, hit a 5 if it had audio narration. I could at least somewhat get into it.
Yeah, I think so too. It was just, I don't know. You were reading some of those deals, and I was just like,
I know. And then it's like, and then whenever it does present you with choices, it's the same fucking thing. Coax, intimidate, nothing. Yeah. Oh, I guess I'll intimidate him. Ow! That hurt. Or, what do you think? Get the fuck out of my face, you blink-eyed sinner. What? I don't even know what's happening anymore. And it's like, I even told you, man, that A rating makes me nervous. Because they can go one of two ways. They could be very clever with how they're going to handle mature content, or they're going to go really cringe and bad. Unfortunately, it's the latter. So there's that. There's the fact that it was delayed, so I had to wait on it for this for an experience like this. The content or the actual components are useless, except for the QR codes, which you sometimes need. And even whenever you try to use them in a clever way, it's not even worth anything. And then, like, you spend 2 to 3 hours on a scenario. I promise you, you pick a location, you roll your same 2 dice, and then maybe an effort die. I refresh an effort die, do a check. Didn't get anything. All right, next time, I get more dice. Go to the same thing. Boom. Oh, now I got some successes. Read, end of turn. Your turn. Move, same. Everyone's doing the exact same thing.
Yep.
So it's such a waste of time. And I feel bad. Like, I want to say, and I made this same comment in past reviews. It's like, with the rise of AI, it just feels like I would have taken Siri's voice or reading the fucking thing. Like, you know what I probably need to do? I know that would be way too much work than this game deserves, but it's like, man, whenever it pops up, see if ChatGPT can read it to me or something, which is probably how they got their writing done. So it's just, I mean, I know obviously a 2 is way too low. Like, it's not a 1 because you can technically play it. There's just so many other factors that really make this just not worth it for me in any way. So yeah, that's it. You got anything else?
No.
Well, that's our thoughts on The Dark Quarter. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.